2 goes over Missouri's regions. So if you take a look at the top picture, it says that each picture shows a region of Missouri. For example, the dissected till plains are on the left over here with the animals, and the Osage plains are over here on the right. Missouri's landscape is kind of like a quilt, talking about each part is unique, but all the parts come together to make up one beautiful landscape. And the map below that you see will show Missouri's 4 regions. Now, a region is an area with certain unique features, and Missouri has 4 separate regions. And those regions are the dissected till plains, the Osage plains, the Ozark Plateau, and the southeastern lowlands. So if you could take a minute, look at the map, and it wants us to write the name of each region and the key to complete the map. So if you notice, we have a key that's empty, and your job is to see if you can fill in that key by labeling the different regions of Missouri. So if you want to start reading the description of the Osage Plains, it says that 3 of Missouri's regions are plains regions, which are short prairie grasses that cover the Osage Plains in western Missouri. Buffalo animals once grazed on the Osage Plains, but today cattle and other livestock graze there. Prairies have very fertile soil, which just means that it's very good for plants. When animals graze on prairie grasses, the plants grow back thicker and stronger than before. Next, we have the dissected till plains. Now, the dissected till plains region includes the area that's north of the Missouri River. The land here was dissected, or that just means taken apart, by glaciers thousands of years ago. The region is sometimes called the glaciated till plains. Today, the dissected till plains region has some of the best farmland in the country. Farmers can grow corn and soybeans, wheat and hay, and the rich till that was left behind by those glaciers. Moving on, next we've got the southeastern lowlands. Now the southeastern lowlands has moist and fertile land as well, but a lowland is an area that has lower and flatter surrounding areas. So the southeastern lowlands is part of an alluvial plain. That's kind of a big word. An alluvial plain is just an area of sand and mud left over after floods. So this region is wetter than Missouri's other 2 plains regions. Interesting. Workers also drained the area to make it suitable for farming. So now we've got rice, corn, soybeans, and wheat that grow there. Families and farms thrive near cities such as New Madrid, Kennett, and Sikeston. So if you glance to the picture on the right, you might see plants that are growing cotton. And so it says that farmers rely on that flat, moist soil in the southeastern lowlands to grow crops such as cotton. All right, next we're moving on to the 4th region, which is the Ozark Plateau. So the Ozark Plateau is Missouri's largest region. I'm assuming most of us have heard of the Ozarks in Missouri. That's where the Lake of the Ozarks is, and it is Missouri's largest region. A plateau is just a large area of flat land that is higher than the surrounding areas. So the Ozark Plateau extends beyond Missouri all the way into Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Kansas. So this region of the United States is also called the Ozarks. Some people say that the Ozark Plateau is the most interesting and beautiful. Like I said before, it contains rivers and lakes, forests, cliffs, all those fun things. And it is also very, very popular for tourists that come to Missouri. There's campers and hikers that enjoy the campsites, as well as walking trails. There's running trails and things like that. You can also see interesting rock formations, such as those found at Elephant Rocks State Park, Caves are located throughout the Ozarks. Many visitors come to the region to visit Missouri's capital, Jefferson City. Wow, that is interesting. Our capital is right there in the Ozark Plateau. Missouri's third largest city, Springfield, is also in the Ozarks. So what I want you to do now is you are going to pause this video and briefly jot down what did you learn about any of the four regions of Missouri. Remember those four regions, we had the Osage Plains, the dissected Till Plains, the southeastern lowlands, and the Ozark Plateau. You may look back in your book, but write at least one fact about one of those plains, and then you'll meet with your group to teach them what you remembered. All right, scrolling down below, we are reading about igneous rock. And I bet some of us have heard of that. Igneous rock is formed by erupting volcanoes. So hot lava from volcanoes has cooled and hardened to form the rock. Missouri no longer has active volcanoes, but the igneous rock formed long ago and contributed to the Ozarks' rich rock and mineral resources. Missouri is the top lead mining state in the United States. Iron ore, zinc, sandstone, and limestone are also found in this region. All right, moving right along. Next, we've got some thick forests also cover most of the Ozark Plateau. So logging is an important industry for the region. Those trees provide lumber for everything from homes to furniture, baseball bats, all of those things. The Ozark soil is less fertile than soil in the plains regions. For this reason, many Ozark farmers raise livestock instead of crops. However, fruit trees and grapevines grow very well in the region. So if you can, down below, answer question number 3. It says one picture matches each labeled area on the map. Write the letter of the labeled area in the box by the picture that it matches. Go ahead and give that a shot now. All right, next we're going to talk about how all of those four regions that we just became experts on depend on one another. So it kind of seems like these regions are synergizing. People and places that rely on each other are interdependent. So Missouri's four regions are interdependent. They rely on each other. Cities and regions are connected by what they need and what they can provide. Differences among these regions have helped Missouri grow because we know that differences are always a good thing to have when working with others and when the plains are working together. Furniture making is one example of interdependence. First, loggers have to cut down the trees in the forests in the Ozarks. Then a wood crafter in northern Missouri makes a piece of furniture. That furniture is then sold in a store right here in Kansas City. Dairy farming provides another example of interdependence. Grain is grown and stored in the northern plains. Cows in the Ozarks feed on the grain and make milk. Then a grocery store in St. Louis sells that milk. Down below, I want you to take a quick minute and create or fill in the sequence graph. I want you to draw the 3 stages in the process of furniture making or dairy farming. Hint, hint, it's right up there in the text if you need a reminder. All right, next we're going to move on to transportation. Interdependent regions, so again, those 4 regions that work together, they have to be connected, right? So for example, the wood crafter needs to send her finished work to a store to sell. So Missouri's transportation system connects regions to one another and the rest of the country. The state's waterways, railroads, roads, and airports move people, raw materials, and finished products from one region to another. All right, and lastly, we've got our urban and rural regions. Those are two very important words, so make sure you remember what they mean. So geographical regions are only one kind of region. Another type is defined by how many people live in an area. So an urban region includes cities and large towns, such as if you live in a neighborhood or you've got lots of shops and stores around and busy streets, you might live in an urban region. The areas in and around Kansas City and St. Louis are urban, so that's where we're at. Now, a rural region includes farms and undeveloped land. So the Ozarks and plains forming areas are rural regions. Urban regions and rural regions are also interdependent, so they have to synergize. For example, farmers in the rural regions grow the food that city dwellers eat. People from rural areas go to urban areas for shopping, concerts, museums, and festivals. All right, friends, here's what I want you to do. We're going to pause this video and I want you to write down what you think an urban region and a rural region is. You could even draw a picture to represent that because then you'll meet with your team to teach them about that. Once you do that, let's look at question number 6. This is making sure we understood what we've just heard. It wants us to write a paragraph that supports the main idea. Missouri's regions are interdependent. So basically, why do Missouri's regions depend on each other? We have those 4 regions, and how do they help each other with different things that they do? All right, thank you very much.